On a sports field, tough love is great. If someone does bad, you can tell them they did bad and you need them to do better. Some of the most challenging things for me were not necessarily the hard skills of accounting, but all of the things that go around it. Organization. I am not a particularly organized person by nature, and I could trace it all the way back to turning in my homework in second grade, right, where the teacher would say, "Oh, but you didn't show your work." Well, you think that doesn't matter, right? Because you got to the right answer. Until a manager's trying to review a work paper, doesn't matter if the answer is right. If they can't trace why it's right, the work paper is worthless. And so organization, both in, kind of how I put things together and how I presented my, my work and my ideas on work papers was a really big challenge for me. And then wasn't so much right away, but once I went from staff to senior and then started to go from senior to manager, the biggest challenge for me is that, and this came up at Leadership Academy plenty, was that my only, leadership experience and exposure really had been on athletic teams in, high school and a little bit in college. And so it's just the feedback I got from the, founding partner was, leadership in an accounting firm is very different than leadership on a sports field. On a sports field, tough love is great. If someone does bad, you can tell them they did bad and you need them to do better. Most staff accountants don't go into accounting for someone to tell them they did bad and they can do better. That was a really big roadblock I had to overcome, and I'm still working on overcoming. How to motivate people in a way that is, that in no way has kind of that conflict element or an element that would make them feel down, because it's a really hard job your first couple of years. You don't know what you're doing. You would think that in public accounting, we would come up with a better way of teaching people than assigning a bunch of stuff that you don't know how to do and hoping you remember 20% more than last time, but we haven't. And so you don't need a manager on top of you, making it seem harder than it is. And so kind of how to lead in an encouraging way, but still not giving people a false sense of confidence has been one of my bigger challenges. It definitely has been. I think that if it is still a work in progress, but I definitely couldn't have made partner without it improving. Honestly, just the ability to manage the number of clients. There's a certain billing threshold you're supposed to get to at our firm to make partner, and you have to be able to manage and oversee those clients. And if you're not organized, diligent about maintaining organization, you can't stay on top of those clients. A client might email me a couple of work papers for their business return, right, and then 3 weeks later, email me 4 more, and then I get the rest of them a week after that. Well, at that point in time, you can't just assign it to someone if you haven't been maintaining organization the whole time, because you assign it to them, they're looking for the stuff, they're emailing the client's now frustrated because they feel like they provided it, realizing that it doesn't matter how busy you are, taking that time, whether it's once or twice a day and going through all of your emails and putting those work papers, whether it's in the client folder or it's attaching it workflow or on our server, whatever it happens to be. And so the ability to kind of manage incoming and outgoing information like that would have hindered me from being able to grow my ledger and not have clients fire me left and right for not staying on top of their stuff.